Happy belated birthday. And
Thank
you
you.
just turned 18 last month, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Milestone.
It's really a milestone. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about sort of your, I think you had a big part to play in Pakistan fashion industry. And I would like to, because I really don't know how it all started. So I just want to know how Pakistan fashion industry started. And
Very interesting. Because I was a Karachi guy. I got married in 1965 and moved to Lahore. So obviously, we live in Karachi. Lahore was like a culture shock.
yeah.
Um, and I found everybody there wearing shalwar kameezes, and I have to say that the shalwars that I made beautifully only in the Punjab. And the shalwar banane up there. And I noticed that, with my mother-in-law, my sisters-in-law, everybody came over us to wear this very starched, beautiful, beautifully ironed shalwar kameez every morning, and it was starched with a starched dupatta. And the only fashion was round neck, V-neck, square neck. They would then stay in it all day, most likely sleep in it. And next day they'll wear a fresh one. I saw this and I realized that it's not just Karachi, but even in Lahore, there was just no friction. So I didn't know anything. I was 2 years. So I began a tailoring shop. And I became very well known and I named it the Seams.
Okay.
So my grounding is very much in cutting and sewing. But later on, kind of swallowing tools. And to design it, because it was easy for me. When you know how to cut something, it's very easy to design it. So then I was the designer on the whole. Kind of a time known as that. It's only when I went to Dubai in 1980, and I came back in 84. And those 4 years, I worked with two French designers who had up in the 10-year course. And Peter and Miran were their good friends. So Peter and Miran taught me everything I know today. I went to unofficial questions from Alice and the practical life, like
Hands-on experience.
yes. When I came back with excited, I said, okay, I want to know in the shop. Really sat down last day. Well, my mother or person gave me a little. And opened my shop and my first connection was complete concerts and should, which is the fashion today.
And this was when?
1984. Sari blouses were little cameos with shoestring straps, which is the fashion today. So and actually, and I look back, and there was no other one. Then there was Florence, of Cafe Flofet. Mm-hmm. And she started her fashion line. Then Rizman came in with his fashion line. Then Deepak came in, and then there was, it opened up. And I'm very proud to say I was the first fashion designer of Pakistan. And of course, when I took off my collection, there was like, I was sold out in Karachi.
And how did you have a fashion show, or did you put it in a shop? How did it work?
I had a shop.
Okay. Now I'm just wondering how I got
shop where I am now.
Okay.
I had a shop and that was tough. I mean, every day, there was no rubbish center, there was no direct reward, there was a poor cashier now. Every day I would go to Surabkot. I don't know whether many people have heard of Surab. Surabkot was on the highway.
Very far.
Where all the Pathans had their garage and their tent. It was a dusty place, and all in tent. I would go every day because I don't want the money and sell it maybe 2, then I'll have money for 3, and then I'll go buy 3 more. Tell people today there's a shortcut to anything, at least to our fashion. And you learn and you evolve and you learn and you evolve and you make a mistake. Yeah. So those.
So do you think like fashion is also cyclical? Like I was saying, when what you did your first one, now it's back here. So I'm just wondering if it
Oh yes.
enhanced.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I give it in life. Of course it's mentally. I mean, like, how many new things can you create? I think it's new. Embroideries will do. Silhouettes will not do. They'll just come back. But the trouble with Pakistan, I have to say, but grieves me intensely, is that it hasn't come back. Somewhere it's got stuck in pajama suit mode, which is why. Which has these printed square with that tops with those pajama below and these wear them as pajama suits.
Yeah.
Okay. They did wear printed Shawan kameezes, but then those days the print was say white background with a red flag. So the top will be a red background, the red flag. But so we had those kind of sets, but the thing is the prints are fine, but the silhouettes are anti-fashion. Anti-fashion in the worst. Because what it's doing, it is encouraging the average woman to grow. Horizontal women, because it's so comfortable. So why would you wear anything? So then the beautiful elegance, beautiful silhouette, the sophistication that's finished.
But don't you think that's happening world over? Because I'm seeing the sneaker trend and
Yes.
well, athleisure where, and people are now, before you had those dresses and they were tight and, you could see the silhouettes and everything. And that's not, so, I mean, apart from like the Met Gala or someone's wedding, generally if you go out, you see everyone, Gen Z especially, not preferring comfort over fashion, Or do you think they both go together as well?
Of course they go together. But you don't have to wear tight clothes for fashionable. In fact, the Western clothes, the designer clothes are not fitted. Those few fitted numbers that come onto a ramp are only for the young stars. But if you look at an elegant woman in Italy or France or England, they're not wearing the high-end clothes.
Yeah.
What for young people what are called stars? They're not for the average person. Your clothes can be loose, but it can have flat. तीन सूट सिर में इतना वो फुटता हुआ मैं गला आगे पट्टी बटन. So where's it gone down? Even the beautiful sari, and I say to women, at least wear a sari. Sari in the evening is just absolutely the most elegant garment you can have.
Yeah.
But this, actually, this all started with I'm going to get hell for this. For the launch of the lawn. Yes. The lawn was the beginning of the end of fashion.
But how did lawn, I remember lawn, we used to, we maybe ever wore it to begin with, and then suddenly it just went nuts with all the, the pattinis and the over embellishment and all. When did it become that and how? And why did blindly following all of it? Pakistani women or Pakistan.
There's a lot of social political reasons. Imagine the rise of the middle classes or the looks for the middle classes. The rise of their young class where there's no fashion. And their children, their husbands a warm welcome anyway here. European countries. They suddenly have money to spend. And what would they like to spend on? Something that got embroidery, plain, because the average woman, say, from Europe, even sells brand, they like embroidery. I mean, I've always said, I don't remember, I've even said that this is the age of the textile designer, not of the fashion designer. Fashion is a silhouette. But then it's your silhouette now, this holy embroidery.
And I've seen your work, and that was because, that's why it remains a classic, because there's really the great silhouette, this great tailoring, that attention. It's about the cut more than the embellishments. Or in fact,
No, the cut is the silhouette.
yeah.
The silhouette. Because you can wear beautiful jewelry with these colors. You don't have to have embroidery. I think cloth with embroidery don't last. You can't wear it again. You have a beautifully crafted, beautifully cut a song. You can wear it to jewelry again and again and again. You know, it's your accessories that count. Bag, shoes, or jewelry makes a beautiful outfit. But that is also born because there's no sophistication and there's no real glamour. That is glamour.
And what would you define with that? Like, if you had one decade to look at, or a time period when there was that fashion and glamour,
Without doubt, the 60s. Without doubt. Because in those days we had nightclubs, discotheque, some of the best nightclubs in the world. And Karachi was known as the baddest of the East. So when you went out to these whole world sophisticated evenings, women looked immaculate. The chignon was very much in fashion. And so you had this beautiful woman, really, what I once said with great love for Karachi, that there was this beautiful woman who would come swanning in like beautiful birds, beautiful jewels, hair precision yours, long earrings, beautiful handbags, and their posture. They're great. But if you're not standing correct, and your shoulders are slouched, it's not going to work. I feel women today should take the bottom classes. Seriously, no, they should. They don't have models coming to model, and I'm always saying, see the back. No, wax on the back. Straighten her back. So straight. They don't even so straight. And that's the point.
So I just want to go on to a point, like, I know Karachi Fashion Club, 60s and all, but I feel like even now, we don't have maybe nightclubs, sorry, not fashion, but nightclubs. But we do have social media where everyone is being photographed or everyone's putting up their photographs.
Please stop. Excuse me. Social media is the worst thing that ever happened to this country. Politically, all lies. News of the world, all lies. Fashion, all lies. Paid content, and I repeat, paid content cannot be real. It's all paid for. So these poor women sitting in their homes are watching this and saying, hi, you're the Marancha. Paid content is like advertisement. No sensible woman should really believe this. I'm actually, I've never in my life paid any magazine, any influencer for anything.
But that's another thing. I'm not saying you should, but I also feel like people don't know the extent. I mean, the general, like now, like
Oh, the young generation.
Gen Zs and all, right? They don't know that you've dressed Princess Diana, you've dressed
No.
Princess Kate, you were there.
The entire Indian royal family.
Exactly, so.
Italian princesses.
And they choose you. That's the thing. They all choose you, but people don't know that, and people don't know about. And obviously, there's a reason, probably the silhouettes and all of those things, right? I mean, you can also tell why they choose you, but why have you never marketed yourself? I mean, I'm not even saying paid, but you haven't even come out and
I think for me, creating something new or silhouette is such a joy for me that my reward is given to me then and there. And the woman buys it and she wears it. Even when I finish creating it, that is my joy. I don't need social media or need journalists to tell me I'm good or bad or indifferent. I don't need it. So I'm very happy to wear it. And actually I'm very happy being small to wear it. I'm not interested in becoming commercial, because that's the only way, right? If you want to grow, you become a commercial enterprise. And this is what's happened with all the good designers who have become very big. And if you ask me why, it's because why we've become fashion has declined is because when you have an investor or investors come in to grow your business, then they will insist that you create stuff that sells. So you can't do what you like. If somebody I've been offered, but I said no, well, I know they would take away my freedom. I'd become big, but at what cost? My soul would die. I can't do that.
So you already are in terms of not looking at it as a business, but it's your passion. Like fashion is your passion, right?
But a lot of designers have stuck out that way. I am very proud that I have worked, and I'll show you the book in a minute. I worked on launch with Catherine Walker, who was Princess Diana's designer. She did all the clothes. And I did all the embroidery. And she died, and she remained small in a career down in the end of King's Road in London. But she just did the beautiful clothes. And she died.
But when you were talking about also, how embroidery, but you should dress up, have like classics and dress them up. And I can see that in your outfit right now as well. Because, it's a, I think, yeah. So like you're wearing.
I like layering.
Exactly. And I mean the thing with that then is you can wear it and dress it up different ways. Don't dress it down.
I can wear this.
And that jacket and the pearls and the sneakers have just uplifted it, right? And so for me as well, like not that I'm like, why should I pay lakhs for something I'll wear once? Because I can't do much with it then,
And everything is now polyester.
Yeah.
That is another nightmare. This is the most delicious pure silk organza. It's a very thick quality. And the thing is, what happened to the fabric? And with the advent of lawn care, came the textile designers. Came in whose textile designers bring in embroidery also. They moved in. They came COVID. Things died for a bit. But they opened up, prices shot up. The pure silk and the pure crepe and the pure chamus disappeared. In came the polyesters, because it was just getting too expensive between the embroidery and the fabric.
Pure fabrics.
So today, anything you buy, still the touch and feel to fabric. It's polyester. Why don't you have a choice between a plain, pure silk, beautiful, last forever outfit and one which is a polyester full of embroidery, which would you choose? That will define who you are. Is a challenge. Is a challenge, and I find that because it's needs to be tried on, so I find that women come into the shop and then they tell us somebody abroad, but because you know when you a silhouette, if you have a nice shirt that just comes well and you just don't put it on your body, you will never tell how it looks. And that's a bit of a challenge, you know, for me and for them, correct? And I think that they're working on it, I'm working on it too, because we have to do more and more garments that are easier to wear. Though I have to say that I'm like still thinking about it. But thinking, when you wear clothes in the evening, why should it be easy to slip on? You know what I mean? It should be difficult. But I think we're getting there. I realize that you guys, I realize that there's some European women who are cotton on, which I find really interesting. But I think it's fine. I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Really surprising you're saying, and not for anything else, just generally people like to have control, right? And you are giving up that control and doing what you think, what you're best at, designing. And
I'm not giving up control of my designs.
You know.
I'm giving up control of how you sell it.
yeah.
And then, you know, you heard me out. I'm more interested in creating than selling.
Which is amazing, which is what you're good at, right? Like, yeah.
I'm like, I know my children would say, mother, you're stupid. The thing is, not when I'm born, she stay there. I mean, like this jacket. How many people are going to go for it? I was taught, no, it's not right. And I was surprised. Just finished. I had bought a whole ton. Bought of fabric.
You know, I tell you something, I remember like I used to, even when this lawn thing came out, I don't like a lot of stuff happening, you know, I have to give the story so you can ignore what I'm wearing these days. But generally, like, I just felt like there was too many bales and this thing here, this print over here, different print over here. You know?
Many embroidered pieces.
Yeah, and in that time, like I remember I went to Khadi and the sonnets were behind like 70% off because no one ever bought them, and that's what I liked as well. And
sonnets were phenomenal.
they were really good, and I still have them. But then I came to you as well, and you said, "Hey, I just come to Gulamo," and they were all sonnets, and there were those, those tunics and bands as well, which I bought 3 of. And we still love, I mean, I was bigger at that time, but I still love those pieces, and they work. Like one of the kurtis as well, I wear as a beach cover-up as well. Sometimes I go to Thailand, and you can do so many different things, and they're all edgy. They've got some edge to it, you know, and it's streetwear where people, you want streetwear when
streetwear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, people didn't know streetwear at that time either. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think people might be leaning towards it.
Now they are because of social media, right? I mean, you know the trend, or whatever you might want to say. I'm saying globally, people are hearing terms now, like streetwear or, couture. Average Pakistani would know. But before, people didn't really know about streetwear. And where did Gulamo come about?
Oh, it was very old. 20 years or something.
Yes.
The city of joy. But I'm off to Pakistan, so I was on Thamke Kotari, Bahrain, Gurta, Bangladesh. But it took us months of sketching. Because Tuan is all sketched.
And it's on scarf, right?
No, it was the clothes. Sure. Everywhere. But you could, Tuan was always made of scarf. I used to have a soft drink scarf sometimes. And so it was very interesting. So this part of me that's more streetwear, and then I go to Maheen, which is a completely different.
Okay. So you must enjoy it having both the brands.
I do. I do. It keeps me going, and I'm going to work in the morning.